Today we're going to have some fun experimenting with pot values on my hybrid Strat body, so stick around. Hey everybody, it is Aaron at Warmoth, and this is my Candy Tangerine hybrid Strat replacement body that if you watch the channel at all, you've seen before. It's been through a little bit of a journey looking for noiseless pickups. And right now it has my favorite noiseless set that I've come across so far. This is a Lindy Fralin split steel pole in the bridge. And this is a Seymour Duncan vintage stack in the neck. And I really like these pickups. I'm just looking for a little bit more high end, and quite honestly, I just like to tinker and try different things out. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to switch the pots out. Right now it's just wired for a standard telly, which means it has 250K pots, and the tone knob works on both pickups. So I'm going to rewire this with 500K pots, which in theory should bring a little bit more treble into the mix. And I'm also going to rewire it so that the tone knob only works on the bridge pickup. There will be no tone load on the neck pickup, which also in theory should give it a little bit more treble. And switching out the pots, I mean, that's obvious enough. Yeah, the wiring that you do to make the tone knob only work on the bridge pickup is basically there is a wire that connects the two pots. You disconnect it and run it only to the lug on the switch that the bridge pickup is wired to. And that will make it so that the tone knob is only active on the bridge pickup. So I'm going to play a few clips, and then I'm going to do the rewiring and play some more clips back to back so we can hear the difference. So let's do it. yeah, you can definitely hear the high end coming back into the proceedings. And I must say that I like not having the neck pickup connected to the tone pot. It allows you to dial the tone back a little bit for the bridge, but then when you flip over to the neck, it's got, you know, the full treble there. It makes it easier to blend them, I think. So I definitely like that, and I definitely like having the high end, a little more high end on this guitar too. So I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing I might try is taking this back to 250. So the volume would be 500 and the tone would be 250K. So I may do that at some point, but for now I'm just going to roll with this and see how I like it. But I definitely like it right off the bat. What did you think? Did you prefer the less high end of the 250K pots, or do you prefer the little bit extra high end of the 500K pots? Let me know in the comments.
Anecdotal Recall.
This week on Anecdotal Recall, I'm going to recall the anecdote of the time that I interviewed with Ken Warmoth for this very job. And it was about 13 or 14 years ago. And, you know, when I became unemployed, I listed all the places that I wanted to work for. And number one was Warmoth, because I knew they were in my neck of the woods. And they were the first place I applied to. 300 applications later, this was probably, you know, 3 months later, they reached out to me. And I was super excited, went in for that first interview. It went well. And then they wanted me to have a second interview with Ken Warmoth. And I was a little bit nervous. I mean, this was the guy who invented Warmoth guitars. This was a guy whose name was on the door. And the time came for me to call him, and so I did. And from the moment he picked up the phone, I knew he was distracted, like he was doing other stuff. And then it became clear he was in his front yard spraying his house for wasps. And I could hear his wife's voice in the background. Ken, there's another one, get that one. And he would go over there, spray it. Ken, there's another one. She would go over and spray that. And he said, yeah, I'm out here spraying for these wasps. I've got to get this done. And I was just like, oh man, there's no way. Like, if this is all the attention he can give it, then he's just kind of going through the motions for me, but I'm not getting this job. But we ended up having a nice conversation, and then to my surprise, the next day I got a call and they offered me the job, and the rest is history. So yeah, that was my introduction to Ken Warmoth, and I was actually, I really liked Ken, and I was so glad I got a chance to know him in the first few years that I worked at Warmoth. But I would love to hear your story of an interview or an audition, something musically related, that you went to and it was awkward or weird and you're just like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting this or whatever, and then you ended up getting it. So put those stories in the comments. I would love to read them. And that is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the experiment of swapping out 250K pots for 500K pots. You definitely heard that extra high end. I'm interested to hear which sound you liked better. If you are interested in 250K pots or 500K pots or telly knobs or the hybrid Strat replacement body or this bridge or Fralin pickups or Seymour Duncan pickups or anything else that Warmoth offers, make sure and check out our website. If you still have questions, give our customer service reps a call. They are always eager to help. And until next time, keep on picking.